Welcome back to the channel. If you're brand new, we're all about finding balance in this space. So this is not a space where we beat up on women. This is not a space where we beat up on men. We simply watch the videos. We try to figure out what's going on in the videos, and then we try to figure out how we can come to a place of balance in the middle so that people can do what? Get married, like what you see on the screen. All right, so I got another video from Riva. I've actually done a couple of her videos. I actually like a lot of the stuff that she finds. So we're going to go through a good portion of this video and we will discuss it.
Facebook, and basically it says men are not obsessed with women like they used to be. Y'all don't find that kind of weird? And to be honest, no, I don't find that kind of weird, because what exactly is there for men to be obsessed with in today's world? Women have left no room for imagination, none whatsoever. It's like your sense of entitlement is out of control. Your expectations are unrealistic. Y'all walk around showing your bodies half dressed, half exposed 24/7, out smoking, drinking, partying 24/7, on the scene 24/7.
Before she goes any further, I really do want to drop a nugget already. I think this whole concept of obsessed, I want to talk about that really quickly, because honestly, even if the things that she's talking about right now were not true, to some degree, when I say true, I mean to some degree, we would still kind of, I think, have that. And you would say, Jay, why can you say that? Why are you going to go that route already so early in the video? Well, we live in a world of information. And see, information works totally different, when people are actually seeking it and finding it. See, for years, men have thought that women were these mysterious creatures, that there's no way you can understand women. Oh my gosh, you just cannot figure them out. Well, what's happened over the years is that men have gotten out into spaces like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and they've actually talked about it. So what this is kind of like the older brother or the older cousin or the uncle talking to, the 15-year-old boy and teaching him about how girls work, right? So what's happening is not just what the women are doing. It's also this other side of it where men are actually educating men. Like when I was growing up, all the guys that had an older brother, I mean, every single one of them that had an older brother, those boys, I don't care if they were 12, 15, 17, they had women. They would have, girls just dripping off of them, right? In middle school and high school. And why? Was because somebody was teaching them how girls work, right? So now as we've gotten into a different space, there are people out here that are actually teaching men how women work. It's not this big mystery anymore. So even when you have the little nerdy guy who might have just sat in the corner and been obsessed, now he can actually go out, he can do some research, and he can figure out, oh, that's why she wouldn't talk to me. Oh, that's all I have to do to fix it? Oh, this is the type of woman I need to talk to? You see, it changes the perspective when the mystery is removed.
A lot of y'all are not even coming with nothing to the table because you're too busy with your hand out trying to see what man got the next bag so he can sponsor your lifestyle to make you look like you're living a lifestyle to post on the internet. It's like a lot of y'all don't have common sense. A lot of y'all don't know how to hold a conversation. A lot of y'all don't have no originality about yourselves. Everybody is getting the same body. Everybody is getting the same hairstyle. Everybody looks the exact same. And it's like y'all get that confused. Oh, well, men like that. No, men will that. But men are not wiping that and they're not cuffing that. And I think y'all are starting to realize
that girl dropping so much so quick. It's hard for me to even keep up. So first of all, again, I want to talk about the types of women she's talking about. Again, if you're new to my channel, you'll find very quickly that I do not put every single person in the same bucket. And that's one of the differences between me and a lot of people out here, is because I don't look at every single person in the bucket. So even what she's talking about, and I'm guessing she's talking about more of the Gen Z and millennial group. And when I say millennials in this particular case, I'm talking about the younger millennials, that last 10 years of the millennial group, right? So for those particular women, again, not all women fall into their bucket. They don't. Now, there's always been men and women that stand out. There have always been men and women that want to do extra special things and stuff like that. And what she's primarily talking about is the types of women that in the past we would call these bougie women. We would call these party women. And believe it or not, they've existed in every single generation. Again, you can go all the way up to the baby boomers and you will find these women. They're even in the Bible. Again, you go to Proverbs 7 and Solomon is saying, do not deal with these types of women, right? So they've been around since day one. And unfortunately, we as a society, we tend to pay more attention to the sore thumb than we do anything else. It's like the whole concept of one bad apple spoils the bunch. So instead of seeing every single person individually, we say, oh, well, these 5 women out of, 17 are doing all these things, or these 2 women out of 20 are doing all these things. So all these women are bad. Well, no, there's a lot of really great women, okay, in the millennials, in Gen Z, but those women don't get that much attention. Why? Because they're not dressed a certain way. They're not all over social media. In fact, many of those women, when I run into them, they don't even have a social media account. They don't even want to be exposed to that. And so a lot of those women are a lot more innocent. They're a lot quieter, but also, just to be honest with you, they're not as glamorous, right? So a lot of those women don't even get that much attention. A lot of men walk right past them, will say, oh, ain't no good women out here. Ain't no good women out here. But then, the woman who is not as glamorous, they walk right past her.
That, and then the first thing y'all want to say is, oh, well, they're gay, they're sassy. No, they're not. They're just tired of what you guys are presenting. And if y'all are here to give them free looks and free everything they ain't got to work for, why would they? But they're never going to take you serious. So it seems to me like a lot of y'all are now starting to realize that you're either losing value or have lost value.
One of the things I want to talk about right there is, this is one of the things that I talk to people in CSC, Christian Singles Connect. That's my group. That's the people that I'm over. That's what gives me the qualifications to talk about all the stuff that I talk about. Because I've been studying this stuff for over, actually about 6 years now. So one of the things that you're going to recognize is that women who come with nothing but love in their heart, they're loving, they're sweet, they're kind, but they're not pretty on the outside. They haven't done anything for their outside appearance. So if this is a woman, you're watching me, I'm going to teach you again, right quick, 5 minutes, how to get a man. So if you just focus on the inside, so you're a sweet woman, you're a loving woman, you're a caring woman. You're just like, if you just send me a man, I will love him and I will take care of him and I will blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no man comes, right? If you are all that on the inside, but the outside, okay, is not where a lot of men would think you're attractive, you will not get married. You'll be put in the friend zone. Yes, men do put women in the friend zone. Women are very good at getting out of the friend zone. There's so many articles and different things like that to kind of teach women how not to be in the friend zone. But men do put women in the friend zone. I'm just going to be real. So what happens is, if you're really sweet, you're really nice, you're really kind, but he doesn't like the way you look, he doesn't fantasize about you, he does not want to have sex with you, then you pretty much get put in the friend zone. And it actually works the same way with men when women put men in the friend zone. Then if you are super glamorous, super beautiful, most men would say that you're a 9 or a 10 out of 10, but you're a mean person. You're not sweet on the inside. You're not a nice person at all. Then you're kind of like what she's talking about. Okay, this is the woman who's like, I'm going to get a sponsor. I'm going to have a guy take care of me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to fly all over the world. But the problem is, men don't love you. They never fall in love with you. And I really wish a lot of women would stop believing that just because they can garner the attention of men, that really means a lot. The only thing that matters, and I'm going to be honest with the ladies that are watching, the only thing that matters is if you can get a ring. If you can't get a ring, nothing else matters. So it doesn't matter if you have been on a yacht. It doesn't matter if you've had a man to fly you around the world. It doesn't matter if you've had a man to literally take you on a $10,000 shopping spree. Because I know women who have gone through those things and have experienced those things. And guess what? They're still single. Because rich men with a lot of money, they like being around beautiful women, and they are willing to spend money because they don't care. The money is really just kind of what they're going to do with it. They just like, well, I don't have nothing to do with it. I done bought all the stuff I want to buy. So yeah, I'll buy this, this lady, this stuff. Right. But then when she's like, well, we've been hanging out for 3 years, do you want to marry me? He's like, no, get up out of here. I don't want to marry you. You mean and nasty and don't cook for me. Don't do nothing. You just cute. I'm just hanging out with you. All right. So those women do not get married. So who are the women that get married? They are the best all around. I'm constantly saying this over and over again. People want somebody who is well-rounded. They want somebody in the middle. They want a woman who's more than likely, her beauty is more like a 7, maybe a 6.5, maybe an 8. But then on the inside, her loving, her kindness, her sweetness is also a 7 or an 8 or a 6.5. They're looking for the woman who is extremely kind, loving, gentle, supportive, but then she's cute on the outside. She doesn't have to be drop dead gorgeous. She doesn't have to turn a million heads, when she walks, through the mall, but she needs to turn a few heads. Right? So it's really important for you to understand this, because I think sometimes people put way too much emphasis on, the beauty. And a lot of these women who think that they're beautiful, and they're like, well, I can get attention. I can get attention. Well, heck, 90% of the women in Atlanta can get attention. If I take any halfway decent looking woman, halfway decent. Guys might think she's a 4. But if I take her shopping and then I go to a good makeup artist and go to a good stylist, I could take her to Lenox Mall and she'll turn half the men's heads. I don't care if she's a size 14. I don't care if she's a size 2. A lot of it is glamour, and any woman can be taught glamour.
From chasing attention. And now that's something that y'all got to deal with, and y'all can't face that fact. Men love women that are exclusive, women that are put up, women that every man can't say he had or can have. Simple as that.
Before River starts, again, I want to add a little bit of something on the end of that as well. This whole thing goes into the whole thing about keeping yourself and women, not having a lot of sex. The bottom line is, ladies, and I kind of hate to, be the bearer of this, but I'm just, again, going to be real. The fewer sex partners you have, the better. It's never going to be a world in which men and women are equal. It's not. There's just certain things that men want, and there's certain things that women want. It's the same thing as my 5'8.5" self. Okay, a lot of women that are like 5'9" or 5'10" or even 6 foot, they're just not going to talk to me. Heck, there's women that are 5'5" that may not talk to me. Why? Because as far as being a man, women generally want a taller man. And there's no excuse for it. Women don't care. They don't care that I cannot do anything about it. They don't care that, I'm in this situation. They don't care if I'm cute, if I'm sexy, if I'm fine. Look at, artists like Bruno Mars or, Prince, when he was alive, or even, Kevin Hart. Okay, these are millionaire people. They were all extremely short. Okay, I'm talking about like 5'4"-ish. Okay, and these men had trouble dealing with any woman that was taller than them. Okay, so for women, there is no excuse if you're not tall. So I'm telling you, there is no excuse in the male community for women that just sleep around. Okay, women need to be very choosy with their partners. And then a lot of women are saying, well, I just won't tell them. Well, sometimes you might end up creating a reputation for yourself. That's number one. And then number two, if men have been around women a decent amount, they gonna kind of know your flow. Okay. It's like certain things you just didn't imagine up and be that good at. I'm just going to kind of leave it at that because we're a Christian channel.
Well, I love the fact that there has been an uproar of a lot of women who are just tired of the foolishness. Okay, they're tired of the way that modern women think And they're sending the gap even more nowadays for the men as well, because they see the constant foolishness, and it's not just on social media, it's also in real life. You see how women maneuver. You literally see, that everybody is actually a copy and a paste for real. They got the same wig. They go to the same person for the lashes. They talk the same. If you go on TikTok, you notice that all the women have the same exact facial expressions when they talk. Because it's crazy. They keep trying to replicate a certain type of person or a certain diagram. And I love the way that this woman just, she just poured it out. No chaser.
So let me explain a little bit about what River is saying right there, because again, I want to make sure you guys are clear whether you're male or female watching. Most people, okay, this is both men and women, what they do is they kind of get mentors that they, are looking at and that they follow, right? And so what they do is they take a little bit of this mentor and a little bit of this mentor and a little bit of this mentor, or a little bit of this leader or whoever it is. And then they formulate who they're going to be based off of what they see. All right. So this is actually probably about 40 to 50% of the population. This is how they work. Now, you guys might say, well, no, that's not true. It's like I said, y'all can fight me on this stuff all day. Remember, I have studied personality. I've studied the way that all these inner workings work. That's why my channel is a little bit different than other people's channels. Now, why do people do this? It's really simple. They're kind of afraid of sticking out. Most people don't like to stick out. Most people do not like being different. Most people just really want to be a part of the whole. So if they see someone who they think is winning, what they're going to do is that they're going to emulate that person, right? Even with some of the guys, I've talked about it, in one or two of my videos before. And, I got a lot of hate from some of the guys, especially the guys that were brand new to my channel. Because basically what I was trying to encourage the men to do is that I know a lot of men have this energy. But what I'm saying is don't go out as a man and then give another man props when you are hanging out with a woman. So what does this mean? It means that even if you listen to my channel, even if you believe 90% of what I have to say, don't get in front of a woman and be like, yo, Jay Stovall was saying, man, that, women need to act like this. And then, y'all need to do this. Don't do that. Don't let another man's energy come out of your mouth. It's one thing to basically, look at this channel for guidance or look at somebody else's channel for information and guidance. It's a totally different thing to be in front of a woman and do the same thing, because what a woman is doing is she's trying to find a man that will lead her. And it's okay if you actually have a lot of people that you follow that you can basically try to get information from so you can better your life. But what you don't want to do is pass the buck in front of the woman, okay, to another man. So you don't want to do that, because when you do that, it makes the woman not want you. She wants the man that you're referencing. So I just want to make sure that I say that and really kind of get that out, because a lot of people, kind of do what River is saying. And this is why it's so important to have good role models. And that's why I'm always encouraging you, if you like what I have to say in my videos, please share.
You're replicating the same exact diagram and you're thinking that you're going to get positive results, but we already know what's going to happen. On this side of the internet, we already seen it time and time again. What happens is they start approaching that wall. And then reality strikes. And then they're like, hold up. I got to do something different, because it's looking like I'm going to be out here by myself. It's looking like the same man that I want to fly me out and to buy me the bags and to buy me the shoes, that I might be in a line for him. And so now let me dial it back some.
So let's talk a little bit about the wall. And I've talked about it in a couple of videos before. One of the things about the wall, and for those that are new and don't really understand what the wall is, because I know I have some people that follow me that are married, and they're just curious about what's going on. The wall is 30 years old. The wall has been around for women for years. Basically, for a lot of women, they might think it's sad, but again, I'm just trying to be real about dating marketplace value, what they call dating marketplace value. So what happens is women kind of start young. It's almost unfair because they start young. And when girls are around 14 or 15 years old, they start to move into their sexual energy for the very first time, right? And we see this even in high school movies. Why do they sexualize 16-year-old girls in high school movies? You got to realize these are grown men writing these movies, but yet they're sexualizing 16-year-old girls. Just think about it. Let's move on. So as girls, move into womanhood and they get into their early 20s, that is the time which they're peaking. All right. This is their peaking time. Right. And when we watch movies and other things like that, they're always referencing generally girls that are college age girls that are basically, like I said, coming into womanhood, like I say, in that 20s to 25-year range. When women are in that range, they can do no wrong. Almost every man in the world wants them. Young boys want them. Older men want them. That is their time. But what Riv is saying is a lot of women is just like people in a lot of sports. If you really keep up with a lot of sports, and I know I use a lot of examples, but I'm trying to get you guys to understand what's going on. If you look at a lot of sports players, people who play baseball, football, basketball, many of them are not like the LeBrons and the Shaqs and the Bradys of the world. Many of them go broke as soon as they leave the sports, as soon as they're no longer in the NFL. Most of them are bankrupt within 3 years. The reason why is because they believe in their heart that this paycheck is going to be there forever. But in these sports arenas, you're lucky if you can even do 10 years. A lot of running backs do not make it that long. A lot of offensive, men on the line, offensive linemen or defensive linemen, many of them don't make it 10 years. So if you've been getting this paycheck of $10 million every year, and then now, after 7 or 8 years, it runs out, but you've been living the life. You've been living that $10 million life, not believing that this money has to last you for the rest of your life. So a lot of them, they don't invest it, they spend it. And then when they come out of the NFL, maybe at 28 or 29, they don't really know what to do. They don't understand that they got taxes on all the stuff that they bought. And so what ends up happening is within a couple of years, they lose it all. Well, the same thing happens for women, right? A lot of women get so used to the attention, in their 20s, because it's so easy for them to get attention. It's so easy. Because why? Because at that point in their life, they are the most fertile. And deep in the subconscious of men, there is the desire to create children, right? So what happens is men are very attracted to them because they have this fertility. And that's what's really going on, is fertility. So women in that stage, they believe, oh, I'm going to have this forever. There's no rush. But see, that has been something that has been taught to women over the last 20 years. Before that, and in other countries, people were always encouraging women to be married, fully married by 30. Because the older women understood what was going to happen. So as women get closer and closer to 30, and it's not a dead hit it on, on your 30th birthday. But what happens is as you start to appear older, and as your body functions don't give off certain scents, and yes, women give off pheromones, right? So as this happens, it starts to happen to you in your late 20s to early 30s, men don't pay you as much attention as they used to. And so it's just like the NFL player or the NBA player that now they don't have a paycheck anymore. So now their eyes are really big and they're like, oh, crap, what's going on? I wanted to be married. I want to do this. I want to do that. And now they're trying to hurry up and get it back. But the problem is their expectations are so high because now they've been flown around and they've been laying on yachts and they've done this and they've done that. So the average everyday dude is not good enough anymore. And if one of those guys along that path got them pregnant and now they have a child, okay, it's even worse for them And it's not impossible. I've talked about this in other videos. I don't have time to talk about it today, but I've talked about it in other videos. So it's not impossible. But women need to understand that all these things are happening. So your 20s are your best time to find a really great guy and get married. And in your 30s, especially your early 30s, that's going to be your second best time. But if you're older, you don't have to give up. What you have to do is you have to be the best version of yourself. And then generally, I encourage women to date older. And I know a lot of black women, generational black women, so 7 years of generations in America, a lot of black women do not like that. They don't want to date a guy that's 10 or 11 years older than them. Well, that is an American concept. Women overseas don't have that problem. But if you're 40, your best bet is a man that's 50, not a man that's 45. Because see, men peak later in life. They don't peak early. They peak later. So as a man that's about his stuff, who has actually made his money, who has kept his body in shape, and he's learned how to talk to women, a man that's 50 can talk to a 40-year-old. In fact, a man that's 50 sometimes can talk to a 35-year-old. And there's no sense in you as a woman that's 40 or 45 getting upset at the fact that this is happening. Because when you were in your 20s, there were a lot of men that were upset. This is just how life works. All right. So I always encourage women to play the cards that they're dealt. Even with men, play the cards that you're dealt. OK, so don't get mad if you're a woman and you're watching me and you're 40 or 45. Don't get mad about that. Instead, change your focus. Because if you're 45 and you're dating a man that's 52, he's going to be excited at the fact that he has a 45-year-old. But if you're trying to date a dude that's 45, there's no extra excitement for him. Unless you just drop dead gorgeous and was everything that he wanted, there's no extra excitement for him. So now, but for that 45-year-old, if he's dating a 35-year-old, there's excitement in there for him. And if he's done it 2 or 3 times, he's going to believe he could do it again.
Unfortunately, a lot of times what happens is once they are approaching that wall or once they hit it, they already got kids. They're not in their prime anymore. They're not, at the top of the pickings list. And then they get frustrated. Then they go into they try to convert other women and try to convince other women that they also don't need men because now they no longer qualify. They wasted all their time telling all these good men, oh, no, you're not my type. And, I need a man that's going to do all this stuff for me. Oh, you too broke for me because, I need a man that's going to do all this stuff.
So this is, again, guys, why I talk about heart posture. Heart posture. Where is your heart? And I'm constantly telling women and men both, you need to be humble because, like I say, a lot of men are coming into their prime. A lot of men that are watching me, especially if you're younger, you might be, maybe in your 20s. Dude, one day you're going to come into your prime as you start to get closer to 35. If you've got your money right, stuff like that, you're going to be coming into your prime. But even if you get there, you still need to be humble. Because a guy that's a jerk is a guy that's a jerk. And if you've lined yourself up with God, especially, you need to be humble. But I'm just going to be real. Being humble, period, it just works better in the world. And I don't care if you're a woman or a man. OK, you still need to be humble. You do not need to think that you're better than everybody else around you. Because like I said before, women, you guys can upgrade yourselves. You can look better. You can go out there. And the same thing for men. Now, I'm going to go ahead and keep this video short. I know she has a lot more to say. She has about 5 more minutes of what she could say. But this video for me is already close to 30 minutes. So I didn't get everything out that I wanted to. But I do think that this was, just kind of good to go over. And again, if you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome. Please like and subscribe so you can, see a little bit more of what I do over here. But I'm always about being fair and balanced and talking about the full picture so that we can have a better understanding of how we can move forward. All right. And if you like this video and you think other people will like it, please share. It's really hard to get, like I say, that good information out there because we do live in a world where everybody's talking about pain and they're angry and they just want to just tear down the world. So let's lift the world up a little bit. All right. So please, again, like and subscribe, and I'm going to see you all in the very next video.